Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Welcome back to another episode of the Chad Smith Podcast. My name is Chad Smith, and today is Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host from California. Please welcome Spooky Morales.
Hey, Chad. Good morning.
Good morning, Spooky. How are you?
Very good. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, man. Yeah, it's. Did you get some rest?
Yeah, I did. And today's a big, exciting day in the UFO world, so gotta watch out for see if we hear any fireworks.
Yeah, if anybody's in the chat, we appreciate you being here instead of at the congressional, or maybe you got two things running. Hopefully you got two things running at the same time. But yeah, I saw that and I'm like, I'm going to have to be streaming at the same time that's going on.
When I found out that they were going to be interviewing Alien Girl 111, I decided not to watch.
That's the only thing you had to know. I mean, if you're not interviewing Amy, there's no, I can watch it later on.
Yeah, just check it out on replay and catch the highlights.
That's right. And I don't know if Sonny's going to be here today. He said he might show up, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens with Sonny Conway.
It's a big week for Sonny because of the races, right?
Yeah, he's getting ready for the races this weekend, and he won't be able to join us Friday for the Chop Shop. So,
ooh, I hope we get some good highlights though, some good video from it.
Yeah, I think we definitely will. You know how he is with that race and stuff. He'll get videos and pictures. He'll probably want to go live from the track.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
So I'll just run down real quick, everybody in the chat, and then we'll bring up our guests. So we got Jake Smith in the chat. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Jake's going back to afternoons next week.
Good.
So that's awesome. My Flock is everywhere. Hey, how's it going? So this means that you are not blocked. That's good. You are not blocked on the Chad Smith Podcast. Appreciate that. You saying hi this morning. Just Chaos, good to see you. Just got the notification. And Lynn LeBlanc, good to see you too. Good morning. Got Diesel Girl in the house, good to see you. Jessica McCreary, good to see you this morning. Good morning. And we got Chris Jarvis. Good morning.
Hey, Chris.
Senate hearings on UFOs are live right now. So yeah, either watch us and watch them later, or you can do some dual streaming. Vera Ray, good to see you. Good morning. And I think that's everybody in the chat, guys. So I'm going to, let's see here. All right. Yeah, we have a guest today, Spooky. We have a guest today.
Oh, awesome.
So backstage, we have Lady Shiya. She is a gifted psychic, a spiritualist, a high priestess, empath, medium, ordained minister, doctor of divinity, an angel and spirit guide intuitive that has been reading tarot and providing spiritual guidance for 30 years. She has been a priestess of the old ways for 35 years. She uses her gifts to bring light and clarity for your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. You can find much more information about Shiya on her website, ladyshiya.com. Please welcome for the first time, Lady Shiya. And she is mobile.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I am mobile. So I was not intending to be, but sometimes when the client needs you, so you hit the road.
That's right. Awesome. Yeah, you got to do what the client needs. That's for sure.
Exactly. So yeah, exciting about UFO, the Senate hearings this morning. I was bummed to miss it too. I was like, oh man, I'm going to be traveling, but I will definitely be catching some replay on that.
Right, for sure. Yeah, I listened to a little bit of the preview last night, and while I was at work, I work midnight, so I was listening to some pregame shows, talking about the Senate hearings for this morning. So yeah, a lot of people are excited about that, and Twitter was blowing up about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it's about time that some of this stuff comes to the forefront.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think that it's actually being talked about in like the highest court like that.
Well, Well, I mean, things started coming out a couple of years ago about it, and we just had pandemic that just kind of like overshadowed all of the government saying, yeah, this stuff might kind of maybe sort of be real. We might have kind of sort of maybe been hiding it. We kind of sort of maybe don't want to talk about it. You
Yeah.
know?
We're trying to figure out a way to cover this up so that we can just figure out it even happened.
Right.
Yeah, they
Well,
don't want
I'll
to come
tell
up
you
with the
what.
answers.
It's quite interesting, you know, if we go into the whole psychic realm with it, that every so often, when I'm doing a past life on somebody, all of a sudden I'm seeing that this person's past life was not on this planet. And I'm like, okay. So, you know, from a psychic standpoint and a psychic point of view, we're not alone.
Right. Yeah, so how does that
So,
work? Are you able to look back on multiple past lives or just like the last one?
oh no, it can be random. My guides will just throw me whatever it is that they think is most pertinent to that person to know. For example, you know, if you have some past life traumas and it's impacting your life this time for like an unreasonable fear of heights. You've never been around heights your whole life, but you have this unreasonable fear of heights. Well, maybe you jumped or got killed from a height before in a past life. So when I ask for a past life, it can be anything. And I'm a guy, I hate doing, because, you know, when you start talking UFO stuff, people look at you funny. And sometimes I hate doing the ones that are from another planet, and all of a sudden it comes up because that person's never felt like they belonged here. And so they didn't belong here because their original soul began somewhere else out in the universe. So, you know, they don't really fit in with this whole take me to your leader earthling thing.
Right, right.
So, you know, maybe they come from a planet of where like they don't talk. They actually communicate via telepathy, you know, and that
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. So talking is weird to them here. Or where, you know, kind of like if we want to go the whole Star Trek analogy, kind of like Beta Z, you know, where they're all empaths, and not everybody's an empath here. So it kind of feels funky to them. And then I give them that past life, and they're like, damn, that makes so much sense. You know?
Yeah, I feel like you were already picking up on my energy a little bit right off the bat
Yeah.
because you pulled my biggest fear right off the top right there is fear of
That
heights
was the
and
fear of heights.
yep, fear of flying, fear of flight or of heights, but I've just never I don't have a reason to have that fear.
Oh, I know the reason. You want to know the reason?
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Fighter Pilot that went down in World War II.
Oh yeah? In a
Yeah,
past life?
that's actually World War II. It's your most recent lifetime.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that's why I have like a
So,
fear of war, a fear of fighting, a fear of heights.
yeah,
Planes.
you were actually a
Planes.
fighter pilot in World War II. I thought World War One, but when my guide started showing me pictures of the planes, it looks like more World War II, a little bit more advanced aircraft than the Red Baron kind of stuff from the First World War, you know?
Wow, that's amazing. Cause yeah, I do have I love planes. I like going to a plane museum and being around them and learning about them. But I do not want to get in one and go off the ground in one. So that
would
does
be
make
why,
sense.
because you crashed, and that was your death. And it was, I wouldn't imagine that going down in a plane in the middle of a war and seeing a lot of your buddies go down in planes in the middle of a war would be a pleasant thing to remember. So that
Right.
goes into a past life trauma. And when you understand that, then you can recognize, hey, I'm not in that situation in this lifetime, so I can start to process it. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if you watch like World War II or even World War One fighter pilot movies kind of thing and have some intense kind of almost PTSD like reactions from it.
I don't know if it's PTSD, but I definitely don't like watching any kind of war movie. Like I don't get any type of enjoyment out of watching it. It just seems like
Well, because, yeah, somebody who's been in it knows that it's not all glory. You know, it's not all glorified. It's raw and it's tangible and it's horrifying. War is not a fun thing.
no, nothing to Nothing to glorify and make money on. I don't feel.
Yeah, and you would have those intense feelings because you've lived it.
Mm-hmm. That does make sense.
Yeah, and
Makes a lot
see,
of sense.
that's how a lot of this stuff works. And sometimes knowing is half the battle, and then you can decide, okay, well, I'm obviously not in a fighter pilot situation, so maybe I'm safe enough for normal air travel.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Right.
knows?
Yeah, I keep hearing like you just got to do it one time and then you'll be good. And I've came close a few times, but still haven't left the ground yet. So maybe one of these days.
Well, now that you know why, then maybe
Yeah.
it can help you process it. And that's part of what, the psychic stuff is all about, and it helps people. I believe that, there's a lot of fake psychics out there, I gotta
Mm-hmm.
say. And there's a lot of us that are real out there too. But it should, any kind of psychic reading, past life reading, whatever, should include like tangible help. Otherwise, it's all BS. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's all just for the shock value, it seems like, unless you can take something away from it, something educational about yourself or the situation that you're in.
Exactly. I always say that I'm helping introduce people to their best life, because if there's not something that's real and tangible there, then you're just, you're throwing money at a person. And I mean, I'm like, I make my living with this, but at the same point, I don't feel like you should just be throwing money out there for no value whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not getting value, then why are you going to see a psychic about something?
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, I think
So that's
I've always
why-
felt like you should go there with a question or some type of issue or problem that you need to work out.
Yep, or understanding yourself and understanding your personal path, your personal journey. Should always take
Mhm.
something away. So if you're not taking something away from a psychic reading, find another psychic.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
But
How long-
I've been doing this for 35 years. Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's kind of what I was gonna add.
I
Like,
beat your question, didn't
no,
I?
you're fine. Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna get into. Is like, how did you first figure out that you had this ability, and was that at a young childhood age, or what was the scenario for
Well,
that?
actually, when I was 3, when I first started really talking,
Uh-huh.
when I first started really talking, I started going up to people and telling them, God told me to tell you this. And my parents got very upset by that, and tried to baptize it out of me. But the gifts just never went away. It's just been there my whole life. And when I was 12, I talked to my youth pastor about it. And because I grew up in the church, and my youth pastor said, "Oh, that's satanic." And I said, "There's no way this is satanic. I help people. I care about people. I love people. I wanted to help people with this."
Mhm.
And so I started doing some research, and got into that was back in the day, when they still had Prodigy and CompuServe and stuff. And I got onto a chat channel there in Prodigy that was a pagan and Wiccan chat channel. And they said, "Oh, you're an empath and a clairsentient and a clairaudient." And I'm a who's a what now? And they said, "Well, this is normal. It's a natural gift for people to have." And so at that point, I started studying, and then I dedicated myself to that path, and I've been following it ever since. I have had points in my life where I have tried to shut the gift off, because sometimes it's a curse as much as it is a gift. You
Mhm.
don't want to know all the information about everybody that you're around.
Oh, I bet.
And going to the grocery store is a pain in the butt, because I don't know if you've noticed, but people have bad attitudes when they go to the grocery store.
Especially lately. Seems like ever
Yeah.
since the whole pandemic thing, man, they're in a different mood right now. Still.
Absolutely. And that
Yeah.
hasn't changed. And we've got shortages here and there. So even going to the grocery store, I will go at off hours, or I will use a kind of a service to deliver my groceries to me, so I don't have to deal with the bad energy.
Right. Yeah,
So-
actually, that's what I was doing at the beginning of the whole thing, was just having them pick all the groceries out for me, and then I'd drive up in my truck and pick them up curbside.
See, I was doing that before it was cool.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I started
Just-
catching on to that. I'm like, man, I should have been doing this a long time ago. Super
Right?
easy. Yeah, it's almost almost too easy.
Yeah.
Lynn LeBlanc from the chat was asking, it's definitely not a stupid question, Lynn. There's no stupid questions.
No stupid questions.
Can you be reincarnated as an animal?
Absolutely. It's not as common as people think. I very rarely meet people who have had animal past lives. And I very rarely meet animals who have human past lives, but it has happened. Sometimes you get this animal that you think, oh my gosh, this is like totally a human being. And many times they have had a past life. And sometimes it's kind of like, let's take a little bit of a break and learn life from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Reincarnation, a lot of people feel like this is a like the way the Buddhists look at it, like if you're good, you'll be reincarnated as this, and if you're bad, you're going to be reincarnated as that. And what I've really found on the reincarnation cycle is that it's really about the lessons your soul needs to learn. So if your soul needs to understand things from a certain perspective, that is the lifetime you will be reincarnated in.
Okay.
And when you've learned what you need to ascend to whatever the next level happens to be, then you don't have to reincarnate anymore. And then you go into a whole different another life cycle that's at an ascended level,
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So there's not some in my and of course my answer, these are my answers. My answers are not everybody's answers. These are just the answers that I've found. But I don't feel that there's this great big old judge in the sky. I've never talked to anything that's a great big old judge in the sky. It's like the universe wants you to understand and learn and live your best. And even though we go through hard times in our life, those struggles, they teach us, they test us, we learn through it. And sometimes we grow in a lifetime, and sometimes we have to get all the way to the end and start a whole nother one to have a better life cycle, because we've learned what we needed to learn in this one. And even those really hard times, they help us learn and grow.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through some hard times in my life, including the death of my husband, who after 24 years of marriage. And I didn't give up. And I followed the same advice that I gave to everybody else, which is when you're down, you reach out, you don't isolate, you do what you can to be healthy. And I started living again, and I found love again. And now I'm in a wonderful, you'll see on my website, is Lady Shiya and the Old Wolf. His name is Francis Capel, and he does a lot of wonderful music. He's a musician and composer, and he's also a psychic and intuitive. And we've been in a relationship now for a year, and we're building a life together. So we have to learn to overcome the difficulties that we face in this lifetime so that we can continue to live forward and continue to grow.
Oh, that's unbelievable. I'm really sad to hear that you lost your husband after such a long period. Much. That's
he was also psychic, by the way.
Oh, was he really?
So, yeah, he knew it was coming, and that was one of the few times in my life where I saw it coming, and I was doing everything I could to ignore that eventuality until it hit me, because it's just not something you want to see or accept. And he would look at me and he's like, Shiya, I'm dying. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you can't. I will do Reiki on you. I will heal you. You're not dying. Yeah. And, but sometimes that's what, life presents. And we learn and we grow through those traumas and those difficulties instead of just giving up. And that's really what my mission is about, is to help people go forward and live their best life.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
So, thank you.
So, what's his name on your website? You said is the
Frank Capel, or Francis Capel. He goes by the Old Wolf, and I dubbed it the Old Wolf. His totem animal is the wolf, and I'm also a fan of the Belgariad series. I don't know if you guys have read any of that from David Eddings. But there's a sorcerer in the Belgariad series that can transform between a person and a wolf, and his nickname is the Old Wolf. So, I started calling him the Old Wolf because he was always kind of nicknamed Wolf, and it stuck. So that is what he does his music under now, Old Wolf Music. and it's Lady Shiya and the Old Wolf now, and he's an amazing musician.
Oh, that's so cool to hear. I love musicians.
Yeah.
I played saxophone in band, and always been a fan of music. So that's awesome to hear.
Well, we do a lot of rock and roll and a lot of meditative music and everything in between.
Oh, cool. So meditative music, is that something people can find on a YouTube channel?
Yes, actually, if you look up Lady Shiya and the Old Wolf on my YouTube, or you can just go to the website and there's a link to the YouTube channel from there. I also do live readings most every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we give free cards on every one of our lives. So just because you can't pay money, that doesn't mean we're not going to engage with you or talk to you, or you're not going to get some kind of a reading, you
Oh,
know?
awesome.
I believe we should be giving back to the universe. If we're sitting there all money, 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 money all the time, yeah, we need money to live, but that's a bad karma thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually heard that before where, take what you need, but not more than what you need, for sure.
Exactly. It's all about balance, and that's really what my entire path is about. And one of the things, that as a witch, I believe in as above, so below, which is the things here in nature teach us how the divine works. And when you look at nature, nature has balance. Nature has its own natural life cycle and balance when humans aren't screwing with it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's how the divine wants us to work, is in balance and in care. You take what you need. If you've got to go hunting, but utilize everything that you've hunted. Don't just hunt for fun. Make sure that you are utilizing and honoring the spirit of the animal and honoring all of the gifts that the animal has left for you to use for food and, otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
It's a very natural path.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's something that everybody needs to know, right? I mean, that's something that we need to get across to more people right now. It seems like we definitely lost that. We kind of had it in the 60s and 70s where, the movement of taking care of the planet and Mother Earth and Earth Day was established and stuff like that. But now we've kind of just lost touch with that, and everything is just, right on time shipment. Everything is wrapped in plastic, and it's amazing. It's amazing how many things you can order something real small and they'll put it in a giant box. And it's like, man,
it's incredible.
You have to cut down trees to make these. Yeah, and then even where I work at in the factory that I work in, we go through so much cardboard. It's just like one-time use packaging right now. That kind of stuff needs to go away, I feel like.
Well, the best thing that we can do on stuff like that is to make sure we're adamant on our recycling. Because, we're not going to get away from this instant gratification society anytime soon, in my opinion. But at least if you're engaging in, if we're engaging in that, there's cops up ahead. I got to be careful. But if we're engaging in that instant gratification, I'm an Amazon queen. I love ordering from Amazon, but there are certain options that you can do, like a certain Amazon delivery date where they box everything together.
Yes.
You break your boxes down and recycle. So yeah, you can enjoy some of the lovely little perks in life, but make sure that you're being responsible on the back end.
Right. Absolutely. That just gave me an idea, totally unrelated to what we were talking about, but that would be cool. Like if people were living in apartment complexes and if everybody had the same delivery date for the whole complex, I feel like that would definitely save on gas and packaging and stuff like that. Just throw everybody's stuff in one giant box and bring it over.
Absolutely. But at least you can do that for your, and that's what me and my man and my boys have done when we order. We set up a monthly subscription so that we don't have frequent deliveries, and that sort of thing. So it does help.
For sure.
And we can all do little things. It's not about if you bit of a difference, be the change that you want to see in the world. You make and that's great. And I apologize. My little navigation once in a while tells me that there's problems, so I got to listen to that.
Oh, that's okay. You actually your service broke up there for a minute while it was
But
telling you
yeah,
some
I mean, I
instruction.
gotcha.
Oh,
Okay,
we
so
might.
you're not hearing it when it's going on about that.
No, I think we might have a slight delay right now, though.
Oh.
Let me. Oh no, doesn't sound like it now. We might be
Ah,
good.
gotcha.
Yeah, I think we're good
Okay.
now.
Well, I've got full bars, so we should be okay.
Cool. So you do card readings, you do Oracle and Tarot?
Yes. And there's everybody always asks me this one question: what's the difference between Oracle and tarot cards?
Mm-hmm.
Tarot cards, you have two different types of tarot cards, but they have specific meanings for the specific cards. Most tarot decks have 78 cards in them, that each one has a specific meaning, even if it's by a different artist. And our meanings can vary depending on who's reading it, that sort of thing, and how they read the tarot, but each card has its own meaning. Oracle decks, it can be however many. It's like anybody can make an oracle deck. If you at home wanted to make your own oracle deck, you could draw a whole bunch of pictures on a whole bunch of 3x5 note cards, give them a kind of a meaning in your own mind, and use those to read. Anybody can read cards. Anybody can read oracle cards, and it's a great way to start learning and practicing your intuition. If you've been wanting to learn how to read, oracle cards are a great place to start. It's not as complicated as the tarot, and all you have to do is you learn that one deck, and then if you pick up a different oracle deck, you learn that other deck. And there are a lot of oracle cards that are out there that actually have the meanings of each card put on the front of each card, so you can just pull a card and get your daily inspiration or get the message that the universe wants to hear without any gifts.
Mm-hmm.
This is not exclusive. Reading oracle especially is not exclusive to just deep intuitive psychics like me. Even tarot cards, if you learn the meanings, you can actually learn to develop your own intuition and read the cards for yourself.
Where would somebody go if they wanted, because the oracle sounds like it's obviously a lot easier than the tarot. Where would somebody go if they wanted to start off with tarot?
If you wanted to start off with tarot, I mean, you can literally go online to anywhere. My favorite tarot artist is Ciro Marchetti, and he has a beautiful tarot deck that is called the Tarot of Dreams, which is just so rich in artwork. And I always recommend that people who are beginning start with that. And then the guidebook, there's a book that comes with that deck, really gets into what the artwork is and what the card means, and that's a great one to start. And you can just do like one card a day to really focus on and meditate on and learn. And in 78 days, you've learned tarot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, 78 days is a lot. Yeah, it definitely sounds like it takes a little bit more effort to learn, and you definitely need to be a little bit more motivated to learn the tarot than the oracle.
But to learn an oracle deck, and that's why I said if you're just starting with your learning your intuition and stuff, you get an oracle deck and you kind of start playing with it. And eventually you just get better and better with it. The more you do that, the more you exercise your prefrontal cortex. And this is proven science. Okay? You meditate, you do things that are intuitive, it activates neurons and pathways in the prefrontal cortex. They've done MRIs where people who are praying, meditating, doing spiritual things, their brains and the prefrontal cortex light up like a Christmas tree. And it helps you become more intuitive, more aware, more mindful. And next thing you know, you're starting to develop your own gifts.
Would you say, Lady Shiya, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Would you say, and a lot of people that have clairvoyancy, psychic abilities, a lot of people say that they believe all people have the ability to tap into their psychic power.
Yes, I completely agree with that. This is not an exclusive thing. Just because I was born with it in a way I couldn't shut it off doesn't mean that somebody who didn't have that at birth kind of thing cannot develop it. Everybody has the access to that if they will open themselves up and just learn and meditate and be mindful and Find ways to access. Not everybody's going to connect with cards. Some people might connect with runes. Some people might connect with crystals, the I Ching. There's a whole bunch of different ways to connect with your own empathic and psychic gift. All you have to
Mhm.
do is want to and start working on developing it. And
So
like
if
anything
somebody,
else,
I'm so
like
sorry to
anything
interrupt.
out,
Oh,
no,
go
it's
ahead.
fine. Like anything out there, it's all about time and practice. Go on.
So if somebody wants to learn how to tap into their own psychic abilities, what would be the first place that you would, point them in, the first direction? Meditation?
Yes, absolutely. Meditation, meditation, and more meditation. There's a lot of books out there, a lot of resources out there on a philosophy called mindfulness. And mindfulness has nothing to do with any kind of religion or spiritual path whatsoever. It's simply about being fully present in the moment. Wherever you are, be there. Okay? And that allows you to start developing your internal sense, your connection with the earth, your connection with yourself. I don't care what religion you are or you aren't. You can be an atheist and practice mindfulness and intuition. And that's one of the best places to start. I do
I
have
love that.
a online group on
Hmm.
Facebook where I do teaching as well. So you can come there and learn, but there's no, I'm not exclusive to this. I'm not going to be
Because
one of those psychics that says I'm the only way. There's a million ways.
Because, Lady Shaya, I try to promote meditation myself here on our channel and other places on YouTube. And, you know, I think a lot of people, I get a lot of feedback from people that say that they just don't connect with meditation. They feel like they can't make that connection, and they have too much noise, outside noise coming into their head and all these. Go ahead.
I know exactly why. One of the things that people have a misconception on meditation is somehow, some way you have to completely make your mind go blank. Okay? This is wrong. Okay? Because our minds are going 50 million miles a minute all the time, right?
Hmm.
When you first start meditating, you're not going to be able to shut your brain up. So, what you do is something that the Buddhists call sitting practice. You sit down and you breathe. Okay? And if you have a little thought going by, then you acknowledge it and you treat it like a fluffy little cloud, kind of like you're watching clouds. So you're sitting there and you're breathing and you think, what am I going to have for dinner? I think I might have meatloaf. Oh, I need to do my laundry. Okay, I can do that later. Sally said this to me yesterday. I wonder what she meant. I'll think about that a little bit. And eventually, when all these thoughts are processing, then you get to this point to where, oh wow, I'm having a realization on something. Some people may call it a download. Some people may call it a message from your spirit guides. And then all of a sudden you're starting to connect. And then at some point when you're practicing that, you just reach that state of peace naturally. So you just got to practice sitting and breathing. How easy is that? Sit down and breathe.
I love that approach because that's what everyone says is like, I don't know. I don't think I can ever meditate. Even like, I don't meditate that often, maybe once in a blue moon, but even I understand the importance and I can appreciate just how to start and how to try to stay in it. But a lot of my friends, of the younger generation, I talk to them about it, and they're either too full of anxiety and they can't shut their brain up, or they've tried it before and it just doesn't work, or they can't get to any specific point while doing it. And
Well,
yeah, that's
most
a
of us like music, right? You
yeah.
have some of your favorite songs. We all like music. Sit down, turn on your favorite tracks, put your favorite playlist on, sit down and breathe and listen to the music. That's
Hmm.
meditating just as much as anything else. Even if you're sitting there jamming to the music in your own head, that's a meditative thing. Just don't do anything else. Sit down, breathe, and listen to your music and enjoy it.
Because for that time where the album is playing, your mind is focused on the words and the music, not on the BS that the rest of the world is trying to get jammed down your throat.
Exactly. Meditation doesn't have to be complicated. Spirituality doesn't have to be complicated. We don't have to play the my God's better than your God, my way's better than your way. It's just about being fully present in the moment. Put your phone down, listen to some music, breathe, think. You don't have to close your eyes and go, oh, all the time. If that works for you, great, fantastic. If it doesn't, jam out to your favorite tracks for a little while and just focus on the music. That's meditation. And 12 minutes per day is shown to be the optimal meditation, minimal optimal meditation to start growing your prefrontal cortex and your intuition. And even if that means sitting there and jamming out to music. That's my wolf, my Frank, his favorite way of meditation is he will kind of surf the universe through music. So we'll sit there with our Alexa device and he'll say, okay, play this one. And he'll sit there and just close his eyes and listen to it. And that one ends, okay, play this one. And we'll do that for hours, and that's meditation.
Beautiful. Yeah.
This advice is absolutely brilliant, Lady Shiya. I really appreciate you sharing this with our audience, and you're hitting all the right points. I just really appreciate you sharing that with us. I did want to ask you. You started earlier telling us a little bit about, you grew up. I believe your parents made you go to church, and
yes.
I'm very interested in how you went from being brought up and bred through the organized church, and then learning about the abilities in the world that's out there beyond what we were taught in the churches.
Well, that's a lot of people have religious trauma from that. Here's the thing. Because I exhibited those gifts, I was literally in the church every time the door was open. Vacation Bible School, Wednesday nights, they had the kind of a Sunday school on Wednesday night thing. I was very indoctrinated in the church, but to me, it was always about having a relationship with God. And so that's where my heart was. I never really got into the full organized religion, even though it was kind of crammed down my throat. When I was 12, my youth pastor was talking about, hey, we want to have some youth leaders. So anybody who would like to be a youth leader, come forward and talk to me about it. And that's where I ended up talking to him about my gifts. And when he first told me, he's like, well, your gifts, that's satanic. That's from Satan. And I thought, there's no way that's from Satan. I hear God's voice. I hear the voice of spirit. I called it God's voice at that time. And so I had that moment of cognitive dissonance to where those things didn't add up. So I was very intelligent, and at that point I went researching. And then I started, like I said, talking to the people in that chat room, and they're like telling me this is what this is and this is what that is. So I went and got a book, Scott Cunningham's Guide to Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner. As I started reading that, I'm realizing, wow, this stuff makes so much more sense. This stuff makes more sense than all the stuff they've been cramming down my throat, telling me I am somehow a sinner because so many other people have gone before me and I'm doomed to hell unless I go this particular path. Here I'm learning there is no hell. Here I'm learning that we are all one together. And so I actually hid my path from my parents, obviously. I started working when I was 11, so I had some of my own money to buy some of my own stuff, which was kind of cool because, when you're 11, you have no overhead, so whatever money you get, you can spend the way you want it. And so
miss those days.
I started collecting things. I actually started making good money when I was younger because I was working a part-time job all the time. And so I started collecting all sorts of witchcraft stuff and witchcraft books and doing studying. And I basically went from one organized religion, which was, Christianity, into another organized religion, which was Wicca, which is the organized religion that's semi-organized religion, I'll say, based upon witchcraft, because it made more sense to me with my gifts. I went down that path, and when I was 14, I joined a coven. And I went through the 4 years of training that it took to become a high priestess at that point. However, I had a big hiccup in my life when I turned 16, and my parents found all my witchcraft stuff. Oh boy.
Oh.
That's what I call the great burning of 16. Because there were three Three big old those big old contractor trash bags full of all the crap that I had bought that was all witchcraft related. They took it out back and burned it in the barbecue grill.
Oh no.
And fire was so hot, it killed their barbecue grill. It was one of my karma things. Yeah, okay,
Karma.
Dad doesn't have a barbecue grill anymore.
That's right.
But
I'll teach
at that
him.
point, yeah, it'll teach them. But at that point, I learned that it wasn't about all the organized tools. It wasn't about, do you have this rock? Do you have this wand? Do you have this chalice? You know, are you pat on the head and rub on the tummy and say the incantation 3 times? At that point, I learned that the power was within me, and I didn't need an organized religion. And at that point, I realized that all things are one, and that's why I consider myself what's called an omnitheist now. All gods are one God. One God is all gods.
Mm-hmm.
It all is together. So if somebody wants to be a Christian and a witch, great. Somebody wants to be a Christian and not a witch, great. Somebody wants to be a pagan, great. They want to follow Thor, great. Want to follow Isis, great. It's all, the divine is so much bigger than our minds can encompass that we turn around and assign names and personalities to these different aspects of the divine. But we're all touching different aspects of the divine. And it's just a learning process to realize it's all one. We're not divided. All these dividing lines are BS.
Mm-hmm.
We can all be one together. You want to be this way? Fantastic. I want to be this way? Fantastic. We can love each other and share and learn from each other and not put each other down and not divide from each other.
Mm-hmm.
This universe, talking about going full circle back to the UFOs, this universe is so much bigger than our little pea brains can comprehend. Why are we going to limit this and say, my God's better than your God?
Right, yeah, that's never made any sense to me either, even when I was a kid growing up, like why there's so many different religions and how many different gods for each religion. It just didn't make any sense to me. And it just adds to the confusion growing up. It's like, well, who am I supposed to believe? What am I supposed to follow?
Take what you need and leave the rest behind. That's all
the
it
best.
is.
Yep.
Find what you relate to. If we want to quote the Bible, I'm going to quote the Bible. Okay, I'm going to do it. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "You will seek me and you will find me when you seek me with all of your heart." And I think that is one of the best verses in the Bible because that is relating to God. If you seek God or the divine, however, with all of your heart, you will find a divine connection. And I don't care if you want to call it Yahweh, Buddha, Hare Krishna, Sally, or Tom. It doesn't matter what labels we give it. The divine is within all of us. Like, you've heard the word namaste, right?
Yes.
You know what that means?
No, I don't.
It means the divine within me sees and honors the divine within you. The divine is within all of us. We all have that spark of life and creativity. Each one of us is a divine being somehow connected to all other divine beings out there in the universe. And that is the most beautiful concept. And when we think about that and how we are all one, why are we going to sit here and argue, my God's better than your God?
Right. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense if everything is the same. Yeah, that's what Spooky's been trying to tell us for a while now, too, is that we are all one. And, like, you really have to grasp that everybody is the same one. Like, it's so hard to, like, if somebody doesn't understand that, it's hard to say it verbally, but, yeah, the way Spooky explained it to me, I don't know if it's just him saying it so many times that it finally got through to me, or just a certain way that he said it, but it really does make
soul
sense.
Brother.
That's right.
Yeah, Lady Shiya, I have to be honest. My emotions are on absolute high right now. I'm borderline tears and I'm tingling all over. It's just because there's a lot going on right now in the world, and today this thing going on with the government and everybody. I'm seeing the comments. Everybody's very, very disappointed, and that the government seems like it's going to be a big letdown with these hearings, and I think people are seeing the writing on the wall. We just had the lunar eclipse, and we know we're
Yes.
going through the Mercury retrograde, and
Oh
as
gosh.
as empaths, our emotions are off the charts right now.
Yes,
But
they are.
I just feel like this unbelievable need to thank you so much for being here with us and sharing what you've shared, because it hits all the greatest hits of what I've been trying to tell, and try to tell people.
Yeah.
We can go down the list. I can bring up all the Buddha mantras, that I've studied over my life, and I can go down every single list, and it's like they're all getting hit on this morning. It's like, I just really, really am so grateful that the universe brought you here, and that we're at this place in time right now that people are hearing this message, because there's I don't know if you're into what's happening, Lady Shy, on like UFO Twitter and within the UFO community, they call us, on YouTube and Twitter. And there's so much infighting, people hating on each other and talking trash on each other and trying to be, promote this negativity about, and what they do is they're dividing all of us. There's even people that are going so far as making lists, they call them, and they're putting people's pictures on these lists of who people should not like and who you should not go to their channels and such. And it reminds me almost of like the SS days in Germany, and during the war. It's like, I don't understand.
It comes down to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't understand how we're at this place in time right now. It's almost like we're at a culmination, and it's like the volcano's about ready to explode.
Well, we are in a polarizing society right now. We've had the Democrats versus the Republicans, the who's a what's-its versus the other what's-its. I mean, everybody is so disenfranchised with the way things have been, with the way society has been, the way the government has been, that everybody's all about, let's pick my side and let's play my God's better than your God, or my way is better than your way. And the truth of the matter is, I'm more along the lines of the Star Trek kind of generation of this strange new worlds and new civilizations. We don't know what's out there. Who can definitively say what's out there? We're the third rock from the sun, and we're hurtling through space, billions of miles per minute, and it's a beautiful and wonderful miracle. And we can only see this much of what's out there. And there's so much more out there. So who are we to sit here and limit it and stuff it in a box? One day, hopefully, maybe in my lifetime, we'll find out more. Maybe it won't be in this lifetime. Maybe it'll be in the future. But I know that we have brothers and sisters across the universe. There are good people and there are bad people, just like everything out there. There are different beings and different things everywhere, and some will be good and some will be bad. But, we do what we can. Maybe someday we'll have a united federation of planets. That would be the bomb.com. I would love us to live out the Star Trek universe, it would just be freaking amazing.
It would
But to sit here and polarize and pick a side, what that is people are seeking belonging. And they feel like to belong, we have to put others down. That's where bullying comes from. That's where this whole religion thing comes from. And then you add on top of that the whole Machiavellian philosophy of the government wanting to control the populace through religion and through belief. That comes from Machiavelli's The Prince. Go back into early AD, 1000 AD, I think was when that was written, to where it says, to be feared and to be loved, to how to govern a populace and how to control a populace through misinformation or through redirection and all that sort of thing. And people are tired of that. They're disenfranchised by that, so they're all picking sides.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so brilliantly put. Amazing. One of the things I try to also work on myself, and I believe that, like you said earlier, you were talking about meditation and about, you hinted at Buddhism, and when I study Buddhism and I practice meditation, I try to impress on people that it is exactly that. Meditation is practice.
Yes.
I will never be an expert at meditation. I will be practicing meditation until the last breath I take. That's why in Buddhism we don't we don't we don't treat Buddhism as a religion per se, as like the organized religions of the West. Buddhism is a way of living, is a way of thinking about life and understanding that life is all a practice, and each one of us is being tested every second of every day. So what we're all trying to do is just practice to get this thing right. It's a constant cycle. It ebbs and flows. It has waves. It works in frequencies. And you got to always be practicing. But what you got to try to do is, I try to tell people, is that we have to try to work on our egos, because our egos is what's blocking us from being able to be united and together. Everybody always wants to be right. Everybody, when you feel like you need to know to prove somebody wrong, or to make somebody feel like they don't know what they're talking about, or they're a liar, that's your ego working. Your ego is on full motor drive, and that's what's out there on UFO Twitter. That's the negativity and the hate that's being spread around YouTube, and that's what I say has to go right now. If you want to learn about the truth of the unknown and the unseen, you have got to work on getting that ego out and learning how to love other people unconditionally. That's it. If I take my last breath right now, that's the message that I want people to understand.
Absolutely.
You have got to learn how to love others. And it starts right here with yourself.
Shiya, we lost your audio.
Right here.
Absolutely.
When you can love yourself unconditionally, you can give that back to others.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay, I thought I fixed it. Anybody who turns around and says my way is the only way, that's the person you walk away from.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because, like you said, I'll always be practicing too. I practice witchcraft. I practice spirituality. And some people are like, well, are you a master? Well, the only thing I say I'm a master at is a Reiki master, because that's a title. But do I feel like I have mastered it? No, I am learning it every day. Even though I've been practicing Reiki for 30 plus years, I am still practicing. And that is a beautiful statement. I loved that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome,
So,
Spooky. Yeah, and
Spooky,
ego.
you're my soul brother over there. I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Jake said goosebumps. Absolutely, man. That's a good message. It's the message that everyone needs to hear. Unfortunately, we only have 11 people in here because of the congressional hearing.
Well, replay's
So,
always a thing.
The truth is that I'm checking out some of the comments, and it's exactly as we predicted.
Yeah.
Everyone is completely disappointed and let down, and it's a big nothing burger.
Yeah.
Without fries. And it's sad, but it's true. It's good in a way that people are seeing it and understanding that this is not the way to answers.
No.
The government is not going to help you reconnect with your spirituality and your place in the cosmos and the universe.
They're two totally
That's
different
not going to
things.
happen from them. It's not in their
The
best
government-
interest to help you with that.
No.
Right. The government is about governing and controlling the populace, and sometimes their reasons for it are altruistic. Sometimes their reasons for it aren't very altruistic. But as the old wolf says, sometimes you can't even trust the government to make a peanut butter sandwich. So why are you going to trust them to come out with the truth on things?
Right.
Yeah, it just seems like two totally different worlds. Like you said, the government, it's in the name. It's their whole job is just to govern the populace and the population. It has nothing to do with spirituality or anything like that. They don't have any interest in that.
None whatsoever. So, but I mean, what it comes down to, and like my old wolf always says, he says, take what you need and leave the rest behind. And that's really a good philosophy, because if you're doing that, then you're not getting all up and crazy about things that just aren't necessary. You're respecting other people's decisions, and that's a big thing. You have people who want a vaccine, you have people who don't want a vaccine. You know what? Great. What works for you?
Yep. Take what works for you and leave the rest behind. I love that.
Yep.
That's how, I mean, that you can apply that to so many different things in life too. I mean, so many
Everything.
different things. Yeah. Literally
So, I mean,
everything.
if it works for you, great. You know, your rights end at the other person's nose. You can't turn around and go up and pop somebody in the face. But if you're turning around and making choices for yourself, it's nobody else's business.
Right.
You know? And if you don't like it, well, keep on walking.
I love that. Yep.
And
Yeah,
there's a wonderful song that Frank recently wrote called "Keep on Talking," and that's exactly what it's about. And the first words are, "If I could find the things that people want me to change, I still wouldn't do it. They can just keep on talking."
Yeah. For
You
sure. I
know,
love that.
I call that my boundary anthem.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, you know what? These are my boundaries. My boundaries, and having healthy boundaries for me, aren't for you. They're for me and my protection. I respect my boundaries. I enforce my boundaries. I will respect your boundaries while you enforce your boundaries. And that's all we need. You know, respect and care and boundaries.
Mm-hmm. So, as a 30-year veteran of doing this type of work, is there anything that you could tell your young self just getting started that you wish you would have known then that you do know now?
Don't hide. I went in and out of what we call the broom closet so many times because I wanted to conform to what other people, their perceptions, and, you know, because I lived in the South. I grew up in Texas. A witch in Texas, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so I went into the broom closet. I tried to deal with my toxic family and, you know, kind of play the Christian game. I even went to seminary. That's, you know, I'm an ordained minister. I went to seminary. I've learned, I'm a doctorate in divinity because I've studied every religion out there now. You know, I can give you a cursory view of just about every religion and an in-depth one about 4 or 5 of them. Okay, including Buddhism, by the way. But the whole thing is that I tried to squash myself and my personality and who I was because of what everybody else's expectations were. And it took me until I was almost 40 years old to finally say, basta, enough, no more. I am going to be out loud and proud. I'm going to be myself. And if people like it, great. And we resonate together, great. And we're thriving together, absolutely fantastic. And if we're not, that's okay. I'm not going to get butthurt if you don't like me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. You know, I'm going to be authentic to my life. And I'll tell you what, when I started fully living authentically out in who I was, all of a sudden, all of my tribe was there.
Mm-hmm.
And people just resonated with me, and I resonated with them. And if they didn't, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I don't get hurt feelings like that. That's a you problem. You know,
Yeah.
You don't like me? Okay, that's a you problem. Have a blessed life. Moving
Mm-hmm.
on. So that would be the message I would give to anybody. And that's definitely the message I would give to my younger self.
I think that's a great message because, like, if no matter what closet you're talking about, whether it's the broom closet or the gender closet or whatever it is, if you're not honest with yourself and you're not honest with your tribe, then your tribe's not going to know that you're there. They're not going to know that you're available to reach out. They're not going to know that you're even looking. So yeah, I think the first thing you do definitely need to be is true to yourself, and then after you're true to yourself, then be true to everybody else, especially the ones you trust and that you love to be around.
We call that holding space. You always want to hold space for other people, okay? Basically, what holding space means is you're being authentic to yourself and you are allowing people to fully express their authenticity of themselves without you putting your own filters on it. You're allowing them to be their authentic self and you to be yours.
This is unconditional love.
Philosophy. Yes, agape. Agape love, as the Greeks called it.
That's right.
I mean, hell, I can even agape Trump, you know? Doesn't mean I'm going to deal with them. I'm going to have some boundaries up. Okay, I'm gonna have some pretty hefty boundaries up. Like, if you're 1,000 miles away from you, you're probably too close.
Mhm.
But I can agape him. I can unconditionally love him, no matter what. I mean, I know we're not political or anything. I
Mhm.
can agape everybody. Agape is holding space. They can do what they want, but I have my boundaries. So there you go.
That's truly believing and understanding how connected we all are. That as an empath, you're able to even pick out the most extreme, characters and personalities and understand that as connected, the only way for that person to heal themselves is to allow yourself to be completely open-hearted and empathetic with
Yes,
that person, to understand that they still have so far to go in their evolution of their consciousness and their development, that they're at a totally different place in consciousness than you are. So as an empath and as someone that has seen the other sides of the universe and of life, and understand that the heart is where it all resides. So
yep,
as somebody that understands that, you open yourself up to be completely empathetic and give unconditional love, knowing that you're making an impression on that person that still has so far to go. That's the cycle that we're all in, helping each
exactly.
other, connected.
Exactly. And sometimes it's important. Like I said, boundaries are important. You can respect and you can love, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they can come into your space and influence you and your authenticity.
That's right.
So you've got to stand up for yourself and have healthy and appropriate boundaries. And what I always say is speaking your truth in love. In fact, can I give a book recommendation?
Oh,
Absolutely.
yes, please.
Okay. One of the best books out there on communication and speaking your truth in love is a business book called Crucial Conversations: Tools for Talking When the Stakes Are High. And one of the things I love about that book is it's about authentic communication, okay? Basically, to where you're adding things to the pool of shared meaning and you're literally listening and hearing to what the other person has to say while authentically expressing what you have to say. And this is not the book for controlling other people. This is the book for when you really want to communicate. And they actually, if you search YouTube, it's free for everybody to listen to on YouTube. It's about a 6 hour read.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
But
Okay.
it is an amazing, I have it linked on my website even to the free YouTube version. So if anybody likes a free price tag, there you go. Okay. But this book can teach you how to communicate and speak your truth in love so that you can hold your boundaries, but you can also authentically listen to the things that other people are saying as well. And that's an important context, I believe.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. I love that. That sounds like a great book.
It is. It's become that damn book that Shia always talks about.
That's okay. Hey,
That's
we
okay.
all we all could use some great advice right about now.
Yeah,
Right. I swear they should endorse me.
they should. Absolutely.
But hey,
Yep.
if everybody can learn to communicate more effectively and truly listen to what other people have to say as well, I think we'd all be better off.
Yeah.
Listen to your heart.
Truth. By the way,
That's
I have two major addictions in life, and you guys have seen both of them: smoking and green tea.
whatever keeps you going. Whatever keeps you spreading that good word.
Exactly. Just because you're all spiritual and stuff doesn't mean you don't have your vices, doesn't mean you don't have boundaries. There's so many people who are like, okay, if I'm going to be spiritual, I have to be perfect. I have to be Dalai Lama, Namaste,
Mhm.
Mother Teresa. No, we are all living this human experience right now.
Hmm.
We all have our faults, we all have our vices, and that's okay. You do what you can when you know when you know what you know, and when you know better, do better. It's that simple.
I think for me, one of the things that hits me hard is knowing that no matter how much practice I do, no matter how far I believe that I have personally become in rooting out my ego and trying to live with an open heart for every single individual, it's living in this age of materialism is one that's really hard to move past. Um, uh, and to help other people move past, because we're still constantly thinking that we need more to bring us joy and happiness and contentment in this life. And that's so far from the truth that we need to be moving the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't feel like, well, you hit on ego. And I will tell you there's a difference between the ego and the id, okay? The ego, as we have come to define it, is the big head, the swollen head. But the id is that true knowledge of self and acceptance of, hey, I'm good at this. I can honestly say, I'm good at being a psychic. Does that mean I have an ego about it? No. I'm acknowledging these are the areas of my proficiency. I'm good at this. I'm good at helping people, and I can accept that in humility and in care. And I can honestly say, hey, this is what I'm good at. Is that an egotistical thing? No. But to turn around and get a swollen head, yeah, that can be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like materialism and not, does that mean that we can't have good things? No. But does that mean that we should not be focused? That should not be our grounding point. Our
Yes.
grounding point should be within the self, within our sacral chakra, within, who we are, our balance with the universe. And if we
Right.
have nice things, fantastic. And if we don't, you know what? That's okay too. We'll do better. We're constantly working on bettering ourselves. We're constantly working to improve, but we don't have to get a swollen head about it, and we don't have to get stuck on things.
Right.
I've had times in my life where I've had a lot, and I've had times in my life where I've had to go to the food bank.
Yep, that's right. And you know what? Some of the, I sometimes I reflect on some of the happiest, most joyous moments in my life happened when I had absolutely nothing, when I couldn't even put together, enough money to have a Friday night ordering pizza or something. But I remember some of my happiest, most joyous times being when I had almost nothing.
Sometimes when we have nothing, we find out how much we really do have.
Absolutely.
One of the things that really impacted me, we were talking about church earlier, and one of the things that really impacted me as a young person in the church was I didn't grow up poor, okay? My parents actually went to a nice church that had lots of people with money in it and stuff like that. And, we weren't really well off, but we weren't poor either. We were kind of middle class. But the church that I was in generally had a lot of money. And one day, they had a missionary come in from a church that was from overseas. I believe it was in Africa. I can't remember what it was. But they showed pictures of their church with a dirt floor, wooden benches, no AC, and their people are all just sitting there praising God. And the guy gets up and starts talking about, all the work that God is doing in that church and stuff like that. And then he looked at all of us in this rich church, and everybody's in their Sunday best, and he goes, we pray for you all the time, that you will have the Spirit of God that we have in our church. And that hit me. It was very impressionant to me at a young age that here we are in this stuffy church where everybody's, amen, proper. We're going to wear our Sunday best. And here these people are with the dirt floor and wooden benches and no roof. And they've got more spirit than we ever had. What does that say? That was an impact for me.
Yeah, that's what people don't understand. What, especially in this country, I hate to say it, but in this, we have it kind of too easy. I mean, even somebody that might not have it as easy as everyone else, if you are in this country, I hate to say it, but there are a lot of things that we're awarded and that we have here available to us if you want to put the effort in, that a lot of countries just don't have. Even if they wanted to, they just don't have the resources and the opportunities that we do have here to take advantage of, and a lot of people just aren't doing that.
America is the place where we've been given every resource in the world that you can have to make life perfect as we can make it for ourselves and each other. It's now up to us to see and use those tools that we've been given to really do the right thing by each other and start loving each other. We have everything we need right here.
We really do. Yeah, and we
We
still
have to
don't.
recognize our privilege and do what we can to share our love and ourselves and our privilege with those who are less privileged. And just because they're less privileged doesn't mean they're less. It just simply means they haven't had the access to the same things that we have. So we have to respect that and kind of work for not equality, but what my monkey, which is my boyfriend's son, he talks about how yeah, I know we call him our monkey. He's our indigo monkey. He's 25. I'm talking like him like he's little.
Oh,
He's a
I thought
grown
he was
ass
like
man.
6.
No, he's a grown ass man, and he's a very, very strong empath and a wonderful man. But he talks about equanimity versus equality. Like if everybody's trying to look over the fence, you don't give everybody the same step. Somebody might be 6 foot tall and can see over the fence naturally, and has that privilege. But somebody else might have a wheelchair. So giving them a step to look over the fence isn't going to help the wheelchair person. So you got to give them a view through the fence. So we find a way to kind of bring equanimity to all of us rather than saying, oh, well, we're going to give everybody the same tools. Everybody needs different tools, and we need to hold space for that, respect that, and do what we can to bring us. When we lift each other up, we all fly higher. I say that all the time.
Right
So
on.
if we're there helping each other, then we can all fly. There's not the I have to look down on you or I have to look up to you. We wanna share and have that beautiful equality and our equanimity there with one another.
That's what needs to
Can you
be
tell?
broadcasted right now to all of Twitter.
Can you tell I'm very passionate about this?
Yes, that's great. That's
Lady
exactly what
Shiya, that we do a lot of stories and guests that come in here that want to talk about things like aliens, UFOs, all the things that they're seeing in the skies, and of course, I have my own opinions and my what I believe is happening.
They're
But
out there.
why do you think that there's been so much more activity in the skies and what people are seeing, and so many more firsthand encounters and experiences happening within, I would say, the last couple years?
Honestly, I don't feel that there is more. I feel that we're just noticing it more. That over
Right.
the past couple of years, people have been forced to slow down. They've been forced to pay attention to things. They've been forced to start listening to what people are actually saying. We don't have as much noise. We also live in a far more global culture than we ever have. So we're able to communicate with each other more. So the person out in the sticks who has that better view of the night sky is able to better communicate and share what they've seen with other people. People are also becoming more open-minded instead of, oh, you're going to talk that crazy UFO crap? Go away. You're crazy. Okay. So people are actually being forced to slow down, to think, to watch, to see, to contemplate what's really being said, to say, are we being told the truth? And the answer is no. No, dear, we are not. Okay. There is so much more out there. And I think it's been happening all along. I have so many friends that have had direct UFO experience, whether it be from an observational. I have one friend that has a 5-hour missing accounted time that she believes that she was abducted and has some experiences with that. And you know what? I believe her. Okay. I have not personally been abducted, but I know people that, I mean, they are so, the stories and the things that they talk about is so detailed and so real that it's hard not to say, okay, this is plausible, you know? But in the past couple of years, where this pandemic, as crappy as it's been, as many lives as it's taken, it has brought some good about in this world, which is making us more mindful, making us think, making us slow down. Even this division in some ways has been helpful because it's making people decide and think about what they really think about. Okay? Unfortunately, some people get caught up in the rhetoric of this side versus that side. But it has been making people think. And that's a beautiful and wonderful thing, and slow down and notice. So I don't think there's an increase in UFO activity. I think there's an increase in mindfulness of it.
Man, I love that.
Do you think do you attribute that to the overall collective opening of consciousness?
In some ways, yes. And also because of this global community that we now have with, more connected online and things like that, more people are becoming open to more
It's all
things.
part of it.
Yes, and I do believe we are coming to a more global awakening. And part of this separation that we're seeing is a separation of the wheat from the chaff. We're seeing those who are empaths learning to step up and open up. I'm seeing that with the portals that have been opened lately, the spiritual portals, the retrogrades, Mercury retrograde you mentioned earlier, is a beautiful thing. As much as everybody's like, oh God, I freaking hate Mercury retrograde. It's a wonderful thing because it helps us reconcile our past, helps us understand things that are going around us. And again, the Mercury retrograde is the best thing for the truthful out, because old things come back up and the truth comes out Mercury retrograde. And as much as those truths can sometimes be painful, it helps us grow. So all of these things are coming to a global consciousness awakening for those who choose that path. And
One
then
of our
those who
buddies
are
says
closing
one of
themselves off. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I'm so sorry. One of our buddies says that we are going through the age of Aquarius.
Yes, actually, the age of Aquarius, I believe, began last year in an
Right.
astrological sense. But we are definitely getting to that global consciousness awakening stage that is, those of us who are called to it, we're waking up.
Hmm.
The others who are not, and they're closing themselves off intentionally, they are showing themselves for the truth that they are. And we who are empaths and working on a higher vibrational level are learning to separate ourselves and create appropriate boundaries for ourselves while living our best authentic selves.
Beautiful.
Shia, what would be for somebody that's not really knowledgeable on that kind of stuff, is there an opposite to the Mercury in retrograde, how everybody always kind of, they loathe that it's on its way, and then when it's here, everyone's like, oh, I'm just in such a crappy mood. And is there an opposite to that? Is there a time when it's...
Well, let's talk about astronomy for a little bit. Let's get out of astrology and talk straight astronomy. Okay.
Mhm.
What Mercury in retrograde simply is that we're looking at our elliptical process around the sun. All right, and we move on the Earth at a certain speed, and Mercury and its elliptical process around the sun moves also at a certain speed. Now, every so often, we kind of in our ellipsis start going forward faster a little bit in our elliptical orbit than Mercury does. So Mercury appears for a time to slow down because we're going faster. Okay, so it's like if you have two cars, I'm driving. If you have two cars, we're going the same speed.
Mhm.
And then they speed up a little bit and I slow down. Now I look like I'm going backwards to them. Okay.
Right.
That's what's happening in Mercury retrograde. Mercury stops moving forward in our view, and we start moving faster, so Mercury starts moving behind. Once that stops happening and Mercury goes out of retrograde, then Mercury starts going forward. And it's going forward, its opposite is most of the time, basically. Where
Mhm.
Mercury, which is the ruler of communications, technology on an astrological sense, is moving forward, that means that those are good times. So that's the opposite of our Mercury retrograde, is when the orbits are happening in their normal span and it's moving faster than we are. So when Mercury is moving faster than the Earth and
Mhm.
in its ellipsis, then everything's going forward in a beautiful direction. When Mercury starts kind of putting on the brakes and we're going fast, that's what any kind of a planetary retrograde is just our ellipsis is going faster at that moment in time than theirs is. Is Mercury still actually moving forward astronomically? Yes, it is. But it's moving slower than us, so therefore it's taking us down a notch. It's taking us backwards, and that's the time that we look into our past. That's the time that the truth will out, and that's the time that we get really careful about technology F-ups,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
So
And it seems like
I
it
hope
does
that
correlate.
explains it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That explains it better than anyone's ever explained it to me. So, Sometimes you have to go into the physical way that things work for me to understand them.
Well, let's put it this way. I told you earlier about as above, so below. Nature teaches us. Nature and science is real. And the right path is, in my opinion, a balance between the physical and the metaphysical, that these two things are meant to work together. They're not polar opposites. They are one.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for explaining it that way.
You're welcome.
Sometimes I just need it explained a little bit differently. It's how I was in school, too. Just gotta have it explained a couple different ways.
It's all about context.
That's right.
It's what works for you. She said it, and it fits in so many different parts of the conversations.
It fits in everything. I mean, the more you think about it, the more you can apply that to literally everything in life. Just take what you need, take what works with
And
you
leave the
or
rest
for
behind.
you, and leave the rest behind. Absolutely.
Yeah. Actually, I never put it that way, but after I met my old wolf, Francis Capel, I mean, he started saying that, and now it's become one of my catchphrases. Take what you need, leave the rest behind.
I love that.
I stole it from him. I have to acknowledge him on that, honey, I stole it from you.
Well, now I'm gonna steal it from you. I'm not gonna put it on any merch or anything, but I'm gonna definitely start telling more people that for sure.
You know what? If it works, go for it. It's not a cat. It's just kind of like this is what we say. And if more people can start saying that, if the whole world can start saying that, I'll be a happy camper. This is not patented or anything. If you tell the world and say it all the time, take what you need and leave the rest behind. Say it loud, say it proud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely needs to get out there. I mean, it applies to everything.
Throw it on the merch.
All right, we'll make some merch.
There you go. Yeah, but hey, I will say you got to send me one if you do it.
Oh, I'll do that for sure.
All right.
I can already see it on a coffee mug or something.
There you go.
Well, one question that I just came up with recently that I want to start asking a lot of my I want to start asking every guest before we wrap it up. Kind of has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but I would just be interested to hear your answer. What is something that you could take back with you if you had a time machine? Something that we use on a daily basis that you would take back to like a 1880s cowboy and to improve his or her life or the lives of their family?
That is an excellent question. Something to an 1880s cowboy to improve everybody's lives. I would say whatever kind of knowledge of I would want to take back knowledge. And for me, anything that would show us how to do sustainable, ecological farming and fuel fossil development so that we go away from the oil and the heavy fossil fuels into a more sustainable sustainable fuel system for the future. So I would want to take back knowledge, a book, something that would help with sustainability for our electricity, for our power generation and stuff like that. I think that would change the shape of the future and would definitely kind of take back some of the stuff that we've done to our planet from fossil fuels over the years.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're the first guest that got that question, and I think it's going to be hard to top that answer because that would change that would change so many things about this planet for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could just
it would be knowledge, definitely knowledge for that.
Knowledge,
sustainability.
Absolutely. Knowledge of sustainability. Perfect.
Yes.
That's awesome, Lady Shiya. So where can people find you if they'd like to learn more information or if they want to just get in contact with you?
LadyShiya.com, and you spell my name Shiya. From there, you can find I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday just about on YouTube and Facebook. So my links are there. There's also a little chat window, so you can chat with me from that point. And like I said, I do free cards almost every live. So just because, I don't have money to give Lady Shiya, no problem. Come and hang out. The stuff that you're hearing me talk about, we talk about on every one of those. And then my old wolf has a podcast every Tuesday night where he plays his music and we get into the political stuff and we'll get into the deep kind of thing, but it's where we respect everybody's opinion. So, it's a great fun, and sometimes it's just dark humor and artificial vanilla humor.
Oh, cool.
And if you don't know what artificial vanilla means, look it up.
It, I think I know what you mean. It comes from a certain
Okay.
animal out of a river.
Yeah. Yes, and we talk about that certain animal out of a river on a regular basis. And and who discovered this? That's one of our regular things.
Yeah,
But
actually, I've never looked into who discovered that, but it'd be interesting to story to hear about.
exactly. So, I mean, we have a lot of fun with that. And so that's
For sure.
our weekly podcast with that. And of course, on YouTube, all of Wolf's music is there for free. Like I said, it's everything from meditative music to rock and roll,
Cool. Is that
So,
copyright free music? Are we able to play that on our channels?
if somebody would like to, if you want to play it on your channels, just contact me and we will work it out.
Okay.
But we want it available for free to everybody. So you just holler at me and we'll make sure you've got all the rights that you need to play it
Excellent.
on your channels.
Oh, thank you so much for
everybody
that.
can. It is downloadable. Frank is coming out with his new album very soon, which is going to be music from the garden. All of the music from that album will be available for free for listening and download on YouTube. It's already mostly there. And if somebody wants an actual CD, fine, we'll sell it to you. But this is about the integrity of the music and sharing that gift with the world.
Excellent. That's really cool. I appreciate that.
So, yes,
Well,
if you guys want to play our music, holler at me, and I'll make sure you get actual videos and all that sort of thing.
all right. I appreciate that so much.
No problem.
Well, have a safe rest of your drive, and I really appreciate
Thank
you
you.
being with us today.
Thank you very much for having me. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Lady Shiya. We love you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Back
much.
at you.
See
Bye,
ya.
Chris and Spooky. Y'all have a good one.
All right, we'll see you.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Whoa. That was some heavier discussion that I thought was going to happen today.
Yeah, I don't think you were. I didn't know if you were prepared for that or not. If you read the description of who we were having on today.
Well, I admit that I have a skeptical side to me,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes a little while sometimes for me to, vibe with someone to where I can completely give full confidence and, my openness. It took about a fraction of a second with this lady.
Yeah.
I mean, it was instant.
Yeah, I could tell.
The thing
man.
that I love about people like her is that she acknowledges her, the things like when I asked her about, being raised in an organized religion and then having to discover her own spirituality and her psychic side. And, that takes a lot of courage to discuss that because, it's very personal, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very personal. That developmental time in somebody's life that they have to make decisions about, unlearning what they've learned to some degree.
Yeah.
Like at a certain point, I think she said she was like around 14 or something, and she decided to look into the Wiccan religion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that is so personal because she had to make a decision that you're like, do I go against what my parents and all my family and my relatives,
Everyone that you trust. Yeah.
everybody,
Everyone.
but it just wasn't the right fit, and she knew it. Her intuitive, her side of her understanding of herself would not allow her to go down this path that was not 100% her.
Mm-hmm.
And when each one of us decides what our spiritual path is going to be, that's also very personal. That's why, when we talk about these things with these people that are so far in their development of their psychic abilities and clairvoyant abilities, is that you can appreciate how much time and how generous they're being with sharing that with us. And that's why it's emotional for me, because I appreciate that so much. And that's why I just constantly am telling people like her, thank you, because I know that she's giving so much back to all of us when she's sharing that stuff.
Yeah, and it's obvious when she says that she was in the broom closet. You know, she calls it the broom closet, and that's
Oh, I loved that part.
it's not the first time I've heard it put that way, actually. So it must be one of those things that people are just, you know, if everyone in their life is telling them that life is supposed to go down this path, but something inside of you is telling you that you are supposed to be going down this other path. You know, that's just it's really
Let me tell you
hard
something,
to
man.
break out of that.
Everybody is in some kind of closet or other.
Some type of conflict like that.
Believe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that does make sense. The more you think about it, everyone's in some type of situation that.
Have you ever asked yourself, is there any one person on this planet that really truly knows the real me? Right?
I've thought about that before. Yeah, when you have certain thoughts in your head that come and go during the day, you're like, well, that's something that most people don't know about you.
Yeah. Because why we have to put on this mask, right? This facade to get through life.
Mm-hmm.
To try to appease people for what their expectations are out of you.
Yeah. Oh, so many people go through life.
That's why I try to promote for people to look inside themselves. And if you're never going to know 100% the real, you know, somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
the bare minimum you should do is 100% know the real you.
Yeah, bare minimum. You should definitely, yeah, absolutely, man. You should definitely know yourself enough, or take enough time out of your life to get to know yourself. Absolutely, before you expect anyone else to believe in you.
Gotta breathe.
I feel like we needed a couple deep breaths. Jamie says these men always go deep. We should expect it. Absolutely.
You're damn straight.
That's right. Wow. So I guess we're not going to get Sonny today. I don't know what's going on with him. I haven't heard from him.
Well, I mean, let's go ahead and let everybody know that Sonny did let us know earlier the last few days that this week he may not be as available as he usually is.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny is very involved in the local car races and mini car races, remote control car races. He's very involved in that community there where he lives.
Anything to do with cars.
Yeah.
Sonny's going to sign up for.
It's really cool though, because I love when he gives us the videos and shows us like the cars racing and all the. I mean, I would never see that kind of stuff if it wasn't for Sonny, but I love it.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be taking some videos and pictures. Or, well, at least I hope he will. Half the time when you go to those events, you get there and then you forget to take pictures. You just assume everyone else is going to take them for you.
And I know it doesn't do much for the show right now, but Sonny did send us some videos that he took over the weekend. The night of the lunar eclipse, Sonny saw some lights in the sky over his house, and it was pretty cool watching him move.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if I could pull some of those up. I'm going to see if I can pull those up. They should be just in my my inbox here, I think. Sent me a few videos. Him and Deanna were outside watching.
How could you not have highlighted this?
What's that? Yeah, I saw that. Inhale. Think of the things that are frustrating you today. Exhale. Smile. It makes your butt tingle.
Love that.
It'll make your butt tingle. All right, let's see. See if we can get Sonya to show us some UFOs in the sky real quick. Can you hear them or hear audio?
I don't hear anything. I just see a screen, but I don't hear any audio.
Well, there's nothing even happening, but I don't know why you can't hear like you can hear his TV in the background. He says, "I don't know what those are, Chad, but they're moving."
Yeah, it changes direction.
my God, he messages me a lot. Let's see.
Yeah, Sonny's mastered Messenger.
Oh, I know why you can't hear audio. It's because I shared. Hold on. Still learning StreamYard. I just shared a window.
Man.
I think you have to share a Chrome tab and then it'll work.
Mhm.
Now you should be able to hear audio.
This is why I'm not in there with you guys. I don't know what the hell that one is. It sure is moving really slow, man.
Mhm.
Enzo.
Oh wow, I zoomed in on it and it started moving fast. Oh. This is why I'm not in there with you guys. I don't know what the hell that one.
It's not interesting, Enzo. People aren't getting what they were expecting to hear, or what's going on over there with that congressional hearing. I didn't have much hope for it, to be honest.
Now it already passed the poll.
What's he say here?
Hanging really hauling ass. Now it already passed the poll. It was just sitting there for the longest time. It looked like it wasn't moving.
It is weird though. It doesn't really look like it's. If you would just hold
Last
the
time,
camera.
that's kind of what I seen. It came over my house, got real bright, and then just flashed the fuck off. Dang, it really hauling ass. Now it already passed the
It
poll.
looks like it's flashing there. I don't want to call him out, but it looks like it's flashing. I'm gonna have to have him download that flight tracker app.
Videos, but I can't see it with my eyes. Sorry for all the videos, but I can't see it with my eyes. I can only see it real good. Oh, look, there's something behind it now.
Oh, that's the black helicopter.
What the hell's that thing behind it back
Now
there?
see that back there that you can barely see. That's what I would expect an airplane to look like. You wouldn't expect an airplane to show up that good in a camera like that, but the one behind it does look like an airplane.
Now, oh shit! What the hell's that thing behind it back there?
Yeah, this guy here.
I don't see it no more.
There's Sonny's face.
I don't remember this one.
Fuck. Sorry for all the videos, but I can't see it with my eyes. I can only see it real good. Oh, look, there's something behind it now. Oh shit!
He got
What
too
the
excited
hell's
and
that
hit
thing
the
behind it back
he hit the
there?
screen twice. Flip the camera around.
I don't see it no more.
I can't see it, Sonny.
Fuck. Sorry for all the videos, but I.
He's funny. All right, I think there's one or two more.
Did you show the one where his grandson said it looks like a triangle?
Oh no, I think that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I don't know what that was, but it brought in lots of shit now. There's stuff fucking all over the fucking place.
Viewer discretion is advised.
And then that thing's still there. I don't know what that is, Chad. It's moving, but it's not moving very fast. Fuck, dude, there's lots of. Dude, I don't know what that.
I want Sonny to narrate every UFO sighting that's ever happened. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna hit that son of a bitch. I got my shotgun out here.
Look, if you go back and watch that video, that thing. Okay, look, if you go back and watch that video, that thing's under the wire, and now it's over the wire, but it's still just fucking, just going in the same place, man. Like, you can tell it's moving. I'm leaning on the truck so I can hold it really still. Well, it looks like it's gonna go back under the wire.
Cracks me up.
Okay, look, if you go back and.
Can you imagine just him and Papa Willie just out there by themselves, just watching the sky? And
I want to be
what do you
there.
think's that? What do you think that is? Yeah, I want to be there bad. Oh man. So what's up, Spooky? Who do we got for Thursday?
Oh,
I don't know who we have for Thursday, but whoever it is, I wouldn't want to follow Tuesday's guest.
yeah, for sure, man.
Adam
That was good.
Ramos. Man, Adam, you're going to have to step your game up, son. Shiya's a hard one to follow.
Do you know what is Adam's specialty?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me and Cassie, we talked about this morning, how I think, I mean, I might as well just share it with everyone else since you guys are part of the show. The audience is part of the show. I think after June, the podcast is going to enter chapter 2.
What?
Chapter 2 of the podcast.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Yeah, there's a few things. I have like a list of things that I wish were different about the podcast, and it's not going anywhere. Definitely going to keep doing the podcast. I love doing it, but there's definitely some things I want to change about it, and that I think could definitely be better. And I feel like it would be better if everything changed at the same time, rather than change everything individually. I don't know. It would just make more sense to kind of continue along the path that we're on now. Continue with the shows that are scheduled, and then maybe take a little break, maybe a week or two break, and get everything figured out for chapter 2 that I want addressed, and then we'll move on after that.
Oh, yeah, change
yeah.
is always good, man. We're in constant change in this life.
Jamie says Chad's going to abandon us. No, I'm not abandoning you. I just want to make it better for everyone involved. I was talking to Cassie earlier this morning about how, I mean, the stuff that you guys don't see behind the scenes is kind of like everything just happens right at the last minute as far as this podcast goes. And I think part of that is because I work full time and I work midnights. So I kind of just, and I'm a procrastinator. I push everything off to the last minute. So that's definitely something I want to change, and that I want to make better for the show, because waiting until the last minute to do anything is bad, but if you are trying to run a show that way, it doesn't work out too well.
Right now, it seems to me like the way it's been the last several months is Chad Smith podcast and Paranormal Chop Shop shows they're like the same shows, just a different time of the day.
Yep.
So maybe what we're looking for in the future might be something we're looking towards in the future is something that defines those two shows as their own separate shows, entities. Like Paranormal Chop Shop might be a place where it's about UFOs and aliens and ghosts and all that. Chad Smith podcast might be venturing off into some other parts of our lives, like different factions of the society that we live in, other subject matter.
Yes. Think of like Rogan. How he takes on, he does talk about UFO.
Oh,
talks about,
you mean Rogan without the ego?
Rogan without the ego? I don't know if anything ever existed. Joe Rogan without an ego?
Yeah, it's right here. Chad Smith podcast.
Yeah, maybe. That guy.
Because it's not about us.
Right.
It's about everybody that comes on and tells us about the way, what they're going through, what their life's about, what their specialties are, and what their positives and the attributes that they have, and the things that they can work on better. That is how we progress and move forward as we learn from each other. But it doesn't always have to be about people that have been abducted or people that live in a haunted house. There's a lot of other people too that have other things to talk about.
There's so many jobs that people have that I don't think anyone really realizes. I mean, when you flip on a light switch and a light comes on, I don't think people understand how significant that is. I mean, I was driving home from work this morning, because I've been watching that show Yellowstone, and I just finished 1883. So 1883 is the prequel to Yellowstone. It's kind of like how they got the story of like the Oregon Trail and how they got to Yellowstone, why they only made it to Yellowstone. And it's amazing to think that it took like weeks. Like they would start out in the summer, and they were already planning on like, hey, by the time we get up there, it's going to be winter time. So we need to prepare for winter now, even though it's summer. So the trek that's how long the trek took. It was like half of a year. You know, it took months to get from Texas up to Oregon. And now it's like, man, anywhere in this country, I could just get in my truck right now, set the GPS, have no idea where I'm even going, and just follow the GPS, and pretty much anywhere in this country, I can be there in a couple of days.
Mhm.
And just all the technology that goes into just that, just being able to do that. There's thousands of jobs and thousands of different people, you know, different types of people that are involved with that process, that you could talk to and figure out just how that whole process works. Just transportation, getting goods from one place to another. You could talk to everybody in that industry for a whole year and just take on
We could talk to
transportation.
everybody in the chat,
Yeah. Everybody in the chat has a story.
right?
Mm-hmm. Jamie says, can we have a fart joke now, please? Let me think of a fart joke.
Chad, have you already mentioned about the girls' website with the merch?
No, but if she would like to drop that link in the chat right now, I'll
Drop
click
it
on
like it's hot.
and pull it up.
Our friends over at That One Time I Was Abducted by Aliens podcast and YouTube show channel have recently
There it
announced
is.
their online store.
Boom.
Bam!
And here we are. All right, guys. This is a long time coming. We've been asking for a Toddy Waba merch store almost as long as I've known Toddy Waba. And now we have it.
I want the UFO with the neon colors, but I want it in a hoodie.
This guy right here.
Well, I think I see another one now. Yeah, that is the one I was originally talking about, but did I see another UFO?
With the goat.
Oh, is that what it is? A goat?
Toddy Waba goat.
Ooh.
Oh, look, you can
Yeah, I gotta
zoom.
have both of those in hoodies. Yeah.
Yeah, I need both of those in hoodies.
I'm a hoodie dude.
Yeah, I understand.
From the hood.
This is the one that I was thinking about getting. And yeah, maybe
I'll take
I
both
should
of
wait-
those right now.
Maybe I should
in
wait for
hoodies.
this to be in a hoodie.
Yep.
All right, Jamie, you heard it here first. We need this to be in a hoodie and this to be in a hoodie.
I'll take those two and a coffee mug and I'll be good.
And this is the coffee mug I want. This one.
With a
With
big
the-
old juicy booty.
The big juicy booty on there.
Oh, hell.
Oh, hell. Oh, look, it matches. I even have that.
That is so lovely.
I got a green alien. All right, I'm definitely going to need a coupon code.
Coupon code, yes.
Coupon code.
We have
What's
our
this one?
coupon code for our Yeti bars.
Oh, we got to run that commercial.
That is BA10. Promo code.
Promo code BA10 to get yourself some Yeti bars. We can't all be winners. Not at the Golden Probe Awards. Wow. Oh, so this is on their website. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty smart to have an actual website.
That's our girls.
Wonder what that's like to have a website. So yeah, you just go to That One Time I Was Abducted by Aliens.com. Go up here to the top right, hit merch. Oh, look at this one.
Oh, I love that one.
The Butt Stuff Sisters. Oh, it has their faces on it. I didn't see that at work.
Yep. Yeah, you got to zoom on these. to
Yeah,
get
I
the-
didn't
to
see that.
appreciate them.
When I was at work, I didn't realize that their faces were on there. It's
The
perfect.
butt stuff sisters. That's what JoJo says.
Yeah.
That's from JoJo, right?
Yeah, that's where I heard it.
He's got to get some credit for that.
Tuesdays are for the cryptids.
Oh, I
Look,
like
it's
that one
they've
too.
got their
Yep.
picture over there. Man, I like that one too.
Right?
It's got the
I
black
had
and
my
white
eye
thing
on
going
that.
on.
Okay, maybe I got to get that one too.
Yeah, I might have to spend some money on here one day.
Now, are these going to be like those shirts where you buy a large and it says a large on the tag, but it really is a medium? Is it going to be like that? Or
Well,
are we
if
going to
you
get
order
like true to size? Like,
it depends on where they are getting them from. If it's from the same company I get mine from, then they do run kind of small.
okay, maybe we got to order a size up.
This looks like
Jamie, do know that she's working with the Two Something to Do Something crowd.
Oh yeah, you got to be too something to do something just to walk in this apartment. Let's see if there's anything on the back of this.
See what she says? We went with the more expensive shirts because you know quality.
Oh,
And you know how you want your name to be represented.
That's right.
You're a
Okay.
smart businesswoman.
Bougie. We started out bougie because we just know that we want to be bougie.
Bourgeois.
Toddy Waba or die. My God, you guys are something else.
Hey, that's kind of the direction we went. Toddy Waba or die.
That's right. The Jerry Killer.
Oh, she brought up some new stuff from yesterday, since yesterday.
Who did? What do you mean?
Yeah, this, I don't think all these were there yesterday.
Oh,
Or maybe I missed it.
you could either be Team Jerry or Team Jerry Killer. Also, we are only making like 20 cents profit. Yeah, I have the same issue with my merch store. In order to make anything affordable, you got to make like $1 profit on each thing.
Yeah, we're not doing this for the money, y'all.
No. Look at this one.
Oh, I love that
hate
one.
it here. I hate it here.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God. Are there keychains? I need like
It reminds me of that
stickers.
video that Spooky did that she titled it, I Hate You All.
Yeah. I hate you all. I just hate everything here. Yeah, we were in a stream one day and she said that, right? I hate it here. Please, Chad, go to Space Mug and find Willie on it. Okay.
Willie?
Let's go to the Space Mug. Is this the Space Mug?
Hmm?
Let's see. Oh, I don't think this is the Space Mug. I don't see Willie on it. Okay, let's go back to the other mug. She's probably typing that in the chat. Find Willie on it. Is she just making me? She's just making me. She's trolling me right now.
She said you
No,
had
I
it.
had it. I didn't see Willie on there. What did you hide him as a?
I saw Willie on the Space Mug. That's what Enzo said. The other side. The other one.
Oh, there he is right there.
Zoom.
Do you see him? He's right here. Oh my God. You guys are something else with your merch.
The detail, y'all. This should be what you put in the stockings this coming Christmas. Everybody in your family needs these.
All right, that's the one I need then. God. How much is that going to be? $15, huh? So probably $20 with shipping. Not bad. That's not bad. You know? What do you expect? It's black ceramic. I mean, that's just what it costs to get black ceramic. $15-20. The details are there. That's right, Jeanette Sanchez. That's right. Man. It got quiet in here. Did I lose Spooky? Oh, there he is.
I'm right here, man.
Oh,
Just taking in all the love, all the artwork and all the brilliance that went behind some of these designs.
all mods should have icons with show merchandise. That's an idea. Jake's calling out the goat. Yeah, the goat. I think she's got stuff going on during the day. She's never in here. in our live streams.
Hey, Chad, I'm sorry to change the subject, but do we have a date that we can announce our
Oh, my camera's on.
appearance with Alien Girl 111?
Yeah, we need to announce that.
Because Amy was mentioning it. I don't know if it was in her yesterday's show or the
Today.
day before.
I think it
Today.
was today. Yeah.
Okay. So, has there been a date set?
Yes.
Oh, breaking news.
This is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. The Chad Smith podcast will be on Alien Girl 111 on Saturday, June 4th.
No, I can't make it. I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. Adios mío.
Now, we do have to discuss a time. I told her that I'd have to talk to the team and get a time figured out for Saturday.
Oh my God. Alien Girl. I will be with Alien Girl and Chad and Sunny all together.
On her channel.
Oh,
Yep, so we're going to need mods because everyone hates us over there. No, I'm
the
joking.
universe is complete.
Everyone loves us over there. I come in the morning.
Hate us? I mean,
I come
we
in the
don't even
morning
Say
and-
anything bad to anybody about anybody else? I mean, I don't even understand
I
who could
know
have
it.
anything against us.
I don't get it either. Even people I don't like, or even people I really don't like.
We're the ones that are out here telling people that we should all get along.
Yeah, I won't talk bad about people on here. If you catch me talking bad about somebody specifically on here, let me know, because
We don't talk
wanna do that.
bad about other people. That was our first rule when we did this.
yep.
It's not our. We're not interested in that.
Mm-hmm. There's our sponsor right there, Breeze Cream. I can't speak. Breeze. BreezeCreamPies.com.
How about this one? With that team, will you be discussing the bodies, the documents, the craft?
we all know that they're out there, guys. We all know that they're there. They're going to tell us, hey, we knew that they were there the whole time. And we're going to say,
I think that the question that needs to be answered in person with Alien Girl 111 is, and I know she's going to ask us, how did we get here?
oh, geez.
And you better have the answer, man.
Well, I mean, I'm going to have the answer because I listened to Alien Girl 111 and she told me. That's where I heard it. I heard it first.
Right on, man. Good answer.
And if you want to hear it, you got to go over there. Okay?
I like it when Amy sits in her backyard and she talks with her cigarette and her sunglasses and little Elon sitting there meditating next to her. I love it.
I haven't witnessed that. I haven't had the pleasure of witnessing that. How did you get here?
The other day I had a vision, and I was thinking about how cool it would be if in one hand she had her cigarette, and in the other hand she had like a martini glass. It would be so appropriate and fitting, man. When I watch Alien Girl, it's like I'm sitting at a bar, hanging out with the coolest chick in the world, and we're just talking about like aliens and UFOs and shit.
You know what cracks me up about her is she'll say something and it'll crack herself up. She'll crack herself up.
Chad, how did we get here, man? How did we get... it seems like every time it always revolves back to Alien Girl talk.
Spooky, how did you get here?
God, that's a good question.
No, really. Roach, how in the YouTube algorithm did you find yourself here?
The life's greatest mystery.
Because we're broadcasting here. What did she say? We're broadcasting on the...
Oh, we're broadcasting from the high desert, right, where the aliens are.
We're broadcasting here from the Irish Hills of Michigan. Okay? And they're going to say, you know what, man, we always knew.
And we're going to say, no, man. No. We always knew too, man.
How did you know? It's not like we told you.
I knew, man, because I was listening to Alien Girl 111. Y'all.
Oh my god. You just get up and leave.
That's what she does to me, man.
Twice. Yeah, man. Alien Girl 111. Please go over there and subscribe. She's live every Monday through Friday morning, bright and early. Super bright and early. She's live.
I feel like Alien Girl is all of us. She's each and every one of us. Why? Because I'm putting it into the discussion of, you know, everybody wants to throw the negativity Alien Girl's way. You know, they want to throw a name at her. This person's bad. That person's bad. You shouldn't talk to them. You shouldn't listen to them. You shouldn't promote their show. And what does Alien Girl always do? She always brings it back to, I don't want to be part of none of that.
Nope.
I'm not going to be pushing any negativity or talking trash about anybody. It's all about bringing people together and bringing people and building a family, a community. And that's why I love Alien Girl, because it always goes back to that. She starts the day right.
Yes, she does. Yep. And on Saturday, this is what it's going to look like when you tune into YouTube.
Oh, Lord.
Chad Smith Podcast is going to be live on Alien Girl's channel. Can't wait. It's been a while since she's been on here.
Yes, too long.
Well, Spooky, I think we had a pretty good show today. I think we ended on a pretty high note.
That was totally unexpected. I had no idea what to expect, and I was like, I mean, there's going to be a good meditation today.
Yeah, when I was reading the description and doing some research on her, I'm like, oh, Spooky's going to have some... He's going to have a hell of a time with her.
Mm-hmm. She hit all the key points, man. If anybody missed it and wants to know, you know, some good advice about getting through these times that we're going through, Lady Shiya gave us some really, really good tips today. She talked about an online book where you can listen to the whole book about how to be a better communicator, and part of being a better communicator is listening to others and really listening to people and hearing what they're saying. And that can help you through your daily life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's definitely one that's going to have to come back.
Right.
She's one of those people that somebody could say, oh, man, the times are ended. This is it. There's a meteor heading here. We're done. It seems like she's one of those people you could come to her with that news and she would be like, well, guys, we're in a shitty situation, but, you know, we can look at it that way, or we can stay positive and look at it this way. And she's just like, even with death staring you in the eyes, it seems like she's one of those people that can just see the light and see the positivity in whatever situation she's given. So we'll have to have her back for sure.
Right on.
All right, Spooky. Well, I hope everybody in the chat has a good rest of your day. Jeanette Sanchez, have a good rest of your day. Cassie, Lynn LeBlanc, it's good to see all you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Enzo, thanks for joining us, man. And everybody else in the chat, everybody I didn't say goodbye to. Jeanette says, way to go, guys. Great show today, regardless. Spooky and Chad, right on. Thank you so much. Lynn says, you never know what will happen on the Chad Smith podcast. That's right. Just never know who's going to join us. So
Yeah.
we will see you guys on Thursday at the same time, 10 a.m. Eastern. What is that? 7 a.m. over on the west coast of the country, Pacific time. And then I believe Eric is going to have a show today at 1:30. So go over to Paranormal Highway. Make sure that you're subscribed over there. I have to be honest, I haven't checked to see if UFO Garage has a show today, but they have been doing Totally Topless Two Topic Tuesdays. So go check out their channel and subscribe and see if they have a show today. If not, they will have a show on Thursday. And yeah, Alien Girl 11, she's live Monday through Friday every morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. And then follow her show directly after by making the migration over to Rebellious Ufology and hang out with Lynn for the next hour after that. Her show's been going kind of long. I think she just likes hanging out with people in the morning. She's got a lot of energy.
Yeah, it's all the show is also evolving too, so there's always going to be something new there.
I wonder, one of these mornings she's got to wake up Jim Goodall early enough to see if he can get his coffee going and come over there and hang out in the morning. All right, guys. So that was a cool show, and we will see you on Thursday, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern. Love you,
Thank
Spooky.
you.
Thanks.
Love you all.
Bye, guys.
It sound right, boys.